everything that I've done. It can't be for nothing.
Naughty Dog, known for its epic games such as Jak and Daxter and Uncharted, has released a new franchise named The Last of Us, a game set in a post-apocalyptic world where fungus has infected humans and turned them into deadly zombies. In The Last of Us, we follow the story of Ellie and Joel surviving amongst many infected and other humans. The story isn't the most original out of stories, but Naughty Dog has the skill to pull the cliched into new dimensions. The story revolves around Ellie and Joel that move throughout America that is left in chaos, with deserted areas all around infested with infected. We know such settings from The Walking Dead, where a select group tries to survive with limited supplies, but The Last of Us is able to draw the attention to its characters and not on the bloodshed. The bloodshed is inevitable as you encounter infected and other people, but the main focus is the relationship between our main characters. They grow more attached to each other while the story progresses. Joel has to escort Ellie for reasons I will not mention. At first, Joel feels hesitant but soon grows towards Ellie as he is forced to protect her. Of course, Ellie has her fair share of save Joel moments, which progress the characters' emotions and attitudes towards each other. Events that progress the story and emphasize certain emotional developments are portrayed in cutscenes, which are beautifully rendered CGI movies. The lighting, the emotions, the camera techniques, they are all well balanced and have a lot of resemblance with the Uncharted franchise. The feeling that you play for the cutscenes is inevitable, hoping you will open the door in front of you and a cutscene will appear.
Back at Bill's. I mean, all this stuff was just lying there.
Objectively speaking, the gameplay isn't revolutionary. It uses a lot of scripted moments to trigger certain events and force the player to move forward. But what The Last of Us did with its gameplay is undeniably a great achievement. The player has limited ammo and supplies, forcing stealthy gameplay. It is advised to solve dangerous events as stealthy as possible. You may never know what's around the next corner. In The Last of Us there are a multitude of enemies that require certain tactics. There are other humans that also fight to survive. Their methods of handling the situation are more predictable, but they are merciless and will try to flank you in a group to force you out of hiding. When you encounter an infected, you will face different stages of infected. Runners who are weak but dangerous in a group. Still, runners can be beaten with melee combat. Clickers, the blind enemy who uses clicking sounds to detect their enemy. They are too strong to face with melee combat and are best defeated with stealthy action. And not to forget the bloaters. People who were infected for a long period of time and grown out of proportion. They move slow, but once they have you, you'll be slaughtered in no time. This becomes kind of repetitive and Naughty Dog tries to vary the gameplay with minor puzzling elements, such as finding a ladder or searching for a key. These elements feel rather like an obligation to break the gameplay. Despite this, the gameplay still stimulates the player to think before they act. Triggering the enemy's attention can be a waste of bullets or a certain death. The gameplay sequences are a great way to portray the cruelty of the world in The Last of Us and puts more emphasis on the events happening throughout the story. Knowing Naughty Dog, the story is bound to have movie elements and the comparisons with Uncharted are inevitable. Cinematic sequences with moving camera angles and epic scenes are present in The Last of Us. The graphics are top notch and pushes the most out of the PlayStation. The emotions in the cutscenes are beautiful and create a good atmosphere amidst all the action. The voice actors did a great job in shaping the characters. I almost dare to say that Ellie and Joel are one of my favorite game characters. They act naturally to their environment and progress emotionally. The soundtrack of The Last of Us is not always present, but when it does, it creates even more atmosphere next to the strong story.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
Where The Last of Us is generic in its gameplay and cliched in its story, it delivers a complete package to its player. The characters are well shaped as they try to find their way in a rundown society full of chaos and fear. The Last of Us managed to give me a feel of hopelessness amongst one of its most heated moments. The limited supplies made the player feel like he was the one that was being hunted down, not the other way around. The story is so beautifully portrayed that I will miss Ellie and Joel. They were one of the strongest characters I've seen in a long time, and in combination with the strong cutscenes and great voice acting, create an emotional bond with the player. The game deserves a 9 out of 10, and maybe they'll discuss a sequel because this game deserves one.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us?